Nadia had practiced this moment for 3 days. Walk in, sign the papers, walk out. 30 minutes, maybe less if she stayed focused. What she had not practiced was how Kwon Jun-seo would react when she unbuttoned her coat, and he saw the 8-month baby bump she had been hiding. The pen clattered from his hand to the marble desk, his famous composure shattering like glass. "Whose child is that?" His voice came out raw, dangerous, nothing like the cold CEO who had sent her divorce papers 3 months ago. Nadia met his eyes and said the words she knew would destroy him. "Does it matter? You already signed me away." Nadia checked her reflection in the glass door one last time. The black wrap dress did its job, loose enough to hide most things. She pulled her coat tighter, even though the Seoul spring weather did not need it. Her hand moved to her belly without thinking, then stopped. Not yet. Just 30 more minutes. The building lobby smelled like money and coldness, marble everywhere, security guards who looked at her twice, the kind of silence that made you feel small. She walked to the reception desk and said the words she had practiced. "I am here to see Kwon Jun-seo. 10 o'clock appointment." The woman behind the desk blinked. "Name, please." "Nadia Mensah." Something changed in the woman's face. Recognition, then confusion, then a careful blankness. She picked up the phone, spoke quietly in Korean, then hung up. 22nd floor. Someone will meet you at the elevator." Nadia nodded and walked away. Her shoes made soft sounds on the marble. Everything here was designed to make you feel watched. She pressed the elevator button and waited. The doors opened. She stepped inside. As they closed, she caught her reflection again. 8 months. How did she think this would stay hidden under a coat? The elevator moved up smoothly, no sound, except the faint hum of expensive machinery. Her heart pushed against her ribs. She counted her breaths. In for 4, out for 4. The technique her therapist taught her. Floor 22 arrived too quickly. A man in a dark suit stood waiting. Not a smile, not a greeting, just a gesture toward the hallway. She followed. Long corridor, doors on both sides, all closed. At the end, double doors in dark wood. The man knocked twice, then opened the door and stepped aside. Nadia walked in. The office was exactly like she remembered. Clean, minimal, nothing personal anywhere. A desk that looked more like a statement than furniture. Behind it, a window showing the city spreading out in every direction. And standing by those windows, Kwon Jun-seo. He turned when she entered. Same face that used to smile at her in private. Same eyes that once looked at her like she mattered. Now they were cold, flat, professional. "You are late," he said in Korean, then switched to English. "Sit." "I am not late. It is exactly 10. Nadia did not sit. She unbuttoned her coat instead. She needed to do this fast, like removing a bandage. She slipped the coat off her shoulders and laid it on the chair beside her. The silence that followed felt thick enough to touch. Jun-seo's face did not move, but something behind his eyes cracked. His gaze dropped to her belly, visible now in the wrap dress that could not hide anything anymore. The shock rolled through him in waves she could almost see. "Not what?" he started, then stopped. His jaw tightened. "What is this?" "This is me, signing the papers you wanted." Nadia walked to the desk where documents sat waiting. "Where do I sign?" He moved faster than she expected, crossing the space between them in 3 strides. He stopped just close enough to make her pulse jump. "Whose child is that?" His voice came out rough, nothing like his usual control. Nadia met his eyes and kept her face smooth. "Does it matter? You already signed me away." The words landed exactly how she meant them to. She watched his hand curl into a fist, then slowly release. He was fighting for control and almost winning. "Answer me." "I came here to finish what you started, the divorce papers. You had your lawyer send them to me 3 months ago." She picked up the pen from his desk. So, let us finish this quickly." "Nadia." Her name in his mouth sounded like a warning and a question. How far along? 8 months. She watched him calculate, watched the numbers click through his mind, watched doubt and recognition fight each other behind those cold eyes. 8 months, he repeated slowly. We have not been together for 7 months. I know how to count, Junseo. Then you will answer my question. Nadia found the signature lines on the papers, 3 places marked with small arrows. She signed the first one, her hand steady. Stop! His hand came down on the papers, not touching hers, but close. Stop signing. Why? This is what you wanted. That was before. Before what? She looked up at him. Before you saw I was pregnant. Does that change something? He pulled the papers away from her reach. Everything. It changes everything. If you are enjoying this story, hit that subscribe button right now, because things are about to get very complicated very fast. Trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next. Nadia straightened and took a small step back. Distance helped her think. It should not change anything. Your life, your business, your reputation, they are all cleaner without me. That is what your letter said. I never wrote you a letter. Your lawyer did. Same thing. Not the same. Junseo set the papers down but kept his hand on them. Tell me the truth. Is this my child? The question hurt more than she expected. Nadia felt something twist in her chest, but kept it off her face. She had practiced this too. I came to sign papers, not to be interrogated. You came into my office 8 months pregnant, and you expected no questions? His control was slipping. She could hear it in his voice, see it in how his shoulders tensed. You disappeared. You stopped answering calls. You moved out of your apartment. And now you show up like this. I got a new job. I moved. People do that. Not you. Not without telling anyone. He moved closer again. Where have you been? Busan. Surprise flickered across his face. Busan? Doing what? Working. Living. Things normal people do. Nadia glanced at her watch. I have a train at noon. Can we please finish this? No. That is not your choice. You are pregnant? His eyes went to her belly again. You should not be traveling alone. I have been traveling alone for months. I'm fine. Are you? The question came softer, almost gentle. That was more dangerous than his anger. Nadia felt her throat tighten. She swallowed it down. I need to go. Not until you tell me the truth. I do not owe you anything. If that child is mine, you owe me everything. The words hit like a slap. Nadia felt heat rise in her chest, anger she had buried for months. I owe you? I owe you nothing. You sent divorce papers while I was dealing with morning sickness so bad I could not work for weeks. You had your lawyer write that our marriage was a distraction you could not afford. You made your choice, Junseo. So I made mine. What choice? His voice rose. What choice did you make? To protect myself. And my baby. From what? From you. The silence after that stretched long and cold. Junseo stared at her, like she had spoken a language he did not know. Then something shifted in his expression, something that looked almost like pain. You think I would hurt you? I think you hurt me already. Nadia picked up her coat. I think this divorce is mercy for both of us. She turned toward the door, but he moved into her path, not touching her, just standing there like a wall. Move. No. Junseo. Is the child mine? He asked it again, quieter this time. Tell me yes or no. Nadia looked at him, really looked. The man she married was in there somewhere under all that ice and control. The man who used to bring her coffee in bed, who learned to cook Togolese food badly just to make her laugh, who held her like she was something precious. But that man had sent her divorce papers without a phone call. That man had chosen his empire over her. It does not matter anymore, she said. It matters to me. Since when? His phone rang. The sound cut through the tension like a knife. He ignored it. It kept ringing. "Answer it," Nadia said. "I know your work is more important." He took the phone out, glanced at the screen, and his expression changed. Not much, just a small tightening around his eyes. He answered in Korean, listened for 10 seconds, then hung up. "I need to make a call." He looked at her. "Wait here." "I'm leaving." "Nadia." Her name again, but different now. Urgent. "Please wait." 10 minutes. Something in his tone made her pause. Not the command, but something underneath it. Something that sounded like fear. 5 minutes, she said. He nodded and stepped into the small side office connected to the main room, closing the door behind him. Nadia stood there alone, her hand moving to her belly where the baby kicked. "I know," she whispered. "This is a mess." She walked to the windows he had been standing earlier. Seoul spread out below, huge and busy, and full of people who had simpler problems than hers. She had loved this city once, loved the food, the energy, the way old and new crashed into each other on every street. But loving a city was easier than loving a man who built walls faster than bridges. The baby kicked again, harder. Nadia pressed her hand there and felt the movement under her palm. 7 months ago, when she first saw the positive test, she had wanted to call Junseo immediately, had picked up her phone 5 times. Then his lawyer had called her instead. She heard Junseo's voice through the door, speaking fast in Korean. She could not make out the words, but she knew the tone. Something was wrong. The door opened. He came out looking different, tense in a new way. "Change of plans," he said. "You are not taking the train to Busan." "Excuse me?" "It is not safe." Nadia felt cold wash over her. "What are you talking about?" "Someone has been watching you." He grabbed his jacket from the back of his chair. "How did you get here this morning?" "Taxi from my hotel." "Which hotel?" "Why does that matter?" "Nadia." He stopped and looked at her straight. "Which hotel?" "The one near Hongdae Station, the small one." He pulled out his phone and made another call, speaking in rapid Korean. When he hung up, he moved toward her. "We need to leave. Now." "I am not going anywhere with you until you explain." "There is a car following you. Black sedan, 2 men inside. They have been tracking you since you left your hotel." Her stomach dropped. "How do you know that?" "I always know who is watching my building." He picked up her coat and held it out. "Please. We need to go." Nadia did not move. "This is your world. Your enemies. I left to get away from this." "I know. But they found you anyway." His eyes met hers. "And if they know about the baby, they will use it." "Use it how?" "However, they need to." He stepped closer. "I will explain everything, but not here. We need to move." Nadia felt the baby kick again, like even the child knew danger was close. She took the coat from him and put it on. "If you are lying to me," she started. "I am not." They left through a back elevator she had not known existed. It opened into an underground garage where a car sat waiting, engine already running, so a driver stood by the back door. Junseo guided her into the back seat, then slid in beside her. The door closed, and they were moving before she could think. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Somewhere safe." "That is not an answer." "It is the only one I have right now." Nadia watched the garage exit approach. Then they were out, merging into Seoul traffic. She looked through the back window. 3 cars behind them, a black sedan. "Is that them?" Junseo looked. His jaw tightened. "Yes." "Who are they?" "I do not know yet." He pulled out his phone again. "But I will find out." The car turned left suddenly, then right, moving through streets faster than felt safe. Nadia gripped the door handle. The black sedan stayed behind them. "They are not even trying to hide," she said. "No, they want us to know they are there." "Why?" "To scare us, to make us make mistakes." He looked at her. "Put your seatbelt on properly." She already had it on, but she adjusted it, moving it under her belly like the pregnancy book said. The car turned again, this time into an alley so narrow she could see the brick walls on both sides. They emerged onto a wider street. The black sedan was gone. Nadia let out a breath she did not know she was holding. Did we lose them? For now. Junseo's phone rang again. He answered, listened, then said something sharp in Korean. When he hung up, his face looked carved from stone. What? Nadia asked. They were not just following you. He turned to look at her fully. They have been watching you in Busan for 2 weeks. The fear that shot through her was pure ice. 2 weeks? Well, how do you know? My security team found cameras. 3 of them. 1 outside your apartment building. 1 at the cafe where you eat breakfast. 1 at the hospital where you have been going for checkups. Nadia felt sick. The hospital. They know about the pregnancy. They know how far along you are. They know everything. Her hand went to her belly protectively. Why? What do they want? Junseo's eyes were dark with something that looked like rage, but controlled, banked down tight. They want leverage, and you just became the best leverage anyone could have against me. But we are getting divorced. They do not care about papers. He looked at her belly. They care about that. The car pulled into another underground garage, this one attached to a tall building Nadia did not recognize. The door opened, and Junseo got out first, then offered his hand to help her. She took it because getting out of cars was harder now with the extra weight. His hand was warm and steady, and she hated that it made her feel safer. They took another elevator up. Junseo did not tell her which floor, and she did not ask. When the doors opened, they stepped into a hallway that looked like a hotel, but quieter, emptier. He led her to a door at the end, used a key card, and gestured her inside. The apartment was nice. Not huge, not fancy, just clean and quiet with actual furniture that looked used. A couch, a table, and curtains that blocked the view. Where are we? Nadia asked. Somewhere no one knows about. He closed and locked the door behind them. You will stay here until I figure out who is behind this. I will stay? But what about you? I need to go back, handle things. No. The word came out harder than she meant. You do not get to lock me in a safe house while you run off to handle things. Either you explain everything right now, or I walk out that door. You would put yourself in danger just to prove a point? I would put myself in danger to stop being treated like a piece on your chessboard. Nadia sat down on the couch, her legs tired. Talk. Now. Junseo looked at her for a long moment. Then he pulled a chair over and sat facing her, close enough that their knees almost touched. 3 months ago, he started, I found out someone inside my company was stealing. Not money, information. Details about deals, contracts, and connections. Things that could destroy me if they reached the wrong people. Nadia listened, for her hand still on her belly. I started investigating quietly. The thief was good. Careful. I could not figure out who it was. Then my head of security suggested something. He paused. He said the leak might be personal. Someone close to me. And you thought it was me. No. The answer came fast. I never thought it was you. Then why the divorce papers? His expression flickered with something that might have been regret. Because my security chief convinced me that whoever was close to me was in danger. That the people buying the information would not stop at stealing. They would take hostages. Leverage. He said the best way to protect you was to push you away publicly. Nadia felt anger rise hot in her chest. So you sent divorce papers instead of talking to me. I know how it sounds. Do you? Because it sounds like you made decisions about my life without asking me. Again. I was trying to protect you. By breaking my heart, her voice cracked despite her best effort. I was pregnant, Junseo. I was scared and alone, and the man I loved sent me legal documents instead of a conversation. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees. I did not know you were pregnant. Would it have mattered? Yes. The word came out raw. It would have mattered. The baby kicked hard, like agreeing with him. Nadia closed her eyes for a second. When she opened them, Jun Seo was staring at her belly. Does it hurt? When it moves like that? No. It feels strange, but not bad. Can you? He started, then stopped. Never mind. She knew what he wanted to ask. Part of her wanted to say no just to hurt him back. But a bigger part of her was tired of fighting. Give me your hand, she said quietly. He looked at her face, then slowly extended his hand. She took it and placed it on her belly where the baby was moving. His hand was large and warm, and it covered half her stomach. The baby kicked right against his palm. Jun Seo's breath caught. His eyes went wide, all that careful control completely gone. That is your child saying hello. He looked up at her, and for the first time in 7 months, she saw the man she married. Not the CEO, not the cold strategist. Just Jun Seo, looking at her like she held the whole world. My child, he repeated softly. Yes. His other hand came up, both of them on her belly now, gentle and careful. The baby kicked again, and he laughed, actually laughed, a sound she had not heard in so long. Then his phone rang. The spell broke. He pulled his hands back and answered. His face changed as he listened, going hard and cold again. When? He asked in English. Then. Where? Then. I'm coming now. He stood up. I need to go. Don't leave this apartment. Don't open the door for anyone. There is food in the kitchen and clothes in the bedroom. Everything you need. What happened? They made a move. He headed for the door. I will have guards outside. You are safe here. Jun Seo. He turned back. Who is they? His expression went dark. I am about to find out. Then he was gone. Nadia sat alone in the strange apartment, her hands on her belly, feeling the baby move. Outside, Seoul hummed with traffic and life and danger she could not see. She stood up slowly and walked to the window. The curtains were thick, but she pulled one back just enough to look out. The building across the street looked normal. The cars below looked normal. But someone out there had been watching her for 2 weeks. Someone knew about the baby. Someone wanted to use her child as a weapon. She let the curtain fall closed and turned back to the empty apartment. On the table, her phone buzzed. She picked it up. Unknown number. Her thumb hovered over the answer button. Then she pressed it. Hello. Silence. Then a voice, male, speaking English with no accent she could place. We need to talk about your husband. He's not my husband anymore. The baby says different. Her blood went cold. Who is this? Someone who can help you, if you are smart. Help me how? Kwon Jun Seo is not who you think he is. The things he has done, the people he has hurt, you do not know half of it. I'm hanging up. Wait, the voice sharpened. Do you know what he does with the money from his company? Where it really goes? Nadia's finger hovered over the end button. He kills people, Nadia. Not directly. He's too smart for that. But his money funds operations that disappear people who get in the way. And now you are carrying his child. Do you really think he will let you leave? You are lying. Am I? Ask him about the Busan port deal. Ask him what happened to the inspector who tried to shut it down. The line went dead. Nadia stood there, phone in hand, heart pounding. The baby kicked, and she pressed her hand there without thinking. Everything she knew, everything she thought she knew, felt like sand shifting under her feet. The door lock beeped. She spun around. Jun Seo walked back in, moving fast. Did anyone call you? She looked at her phone, then at him. No. Why? He studied her face like he was reading a book. You are lying. I am not. Nadia. He crossed to her in 3 steps. If someone contacted you, I need to know. Now. Why? So you can control that too? So I can protect you. From who? From them or from you? His head pulled back like she had hit him. What does that mean? It means I do not know what to believe anymore. She held up her phone. It means someone just told me things about you that make me wonder if leaving was the smartest thing I ever did. What things? You tell me. What happened to the inspector in Busan? The color drained from his face. That was all the answer she needed. Junseo went very still. The kind of still that meant his mind was working faster than his body could show. Who told you about that? Does it matter? Is it true? He ran a hand through his hair, the first time she had seen him do something that looked nervous. It is complicated. That is not a no. The inspector did not die, if that is what they told you. He is alive. He lives in Singapore now with a very comfortable retirement. Retirement at 40? After trying to shut down your deal? He was paid to look the other way, and he took the money. That is not murder, Nadia. That is business. She felt sick. You bribed a government official. I solved a problem that would have cost 300 people their jobs. By breaking the law. By playing the same game everyone else plays. He stepped closer. You think I built what I have by following every rule? You think anyone does? I think I married someone I do not know. You knew exactly who I was. His voice went hard. You knew my business was not clean. You knew I moved in circles that required compromise. You said you understood. Understanding it in theory is different from hearing you admit to bribing officials, like it is nothing. It is not nothing. It kept people employed. It kept money flowing into communities that needed it. The inspector was blocking the deal because he wanted a bigger cut. So I gave him one. Nobody died. Nobody even got hurt. Nadia pressed her fingers to her temples. Her head was starting to pound. No, I cannot do this right now. Then why did you bring it up? Because someone called me and said you kill people. The silence that fell was so heavy she could feel it pressing on her chest. Junseo's face went blank, that cold mask he wore in business meetings. Show me your phone. No. Nadia. No. She held it against her chest. You do not get to order me around anymore. This is not about control. Someone is feeding you information designed to turn you against me. I need to know who. Maybe they are telling me the truth you never did. He looked at her for a long moment. Then he walked to the window and stared out at the city. I have done things I am not proud of. Built relationships with people who operate outside the law. Made deals that would not survive sunlight. But I have never killed anyone. Never ordered it. Never paid for it. Never looked away while it happened. How do I know that is true? Because you know me. He turned back to face her. Because the woman I married was a corporate risk analyst who spent 2 years looking into my company before she would even date me. You think you missed something that big? He was right about that. Nadia had investigated him thoroughly before their first dinner, had run background checks, financial reports, and interviewed former employees under the guise of research. It was her job to find risk, and Junseo had been the biggest risk her heart ever took. But she had never found evidence of violence. Questionable deals, yes. Gray area negotiations, absolutely. But not murder. Then who called me? She asked. And why say that? To create doubt. To make you vulnerable. He pulled out his own phone. What number? She hesitated, then showed him. He looked at it, and his jaw clenched. Burner phone. Untraceable. So we have nothing. We have a voice. Did you recognize it? No, a man. No accent I could place. What else did he say? Nadia thought back. He said you are not who I think you are. That I don't know what you have done. Then he mentioned the inspector and said I should ask you about it. That is all? He said you would not let me leave. That carrying your child means I am trapped. Something dangerous flashed in Junseo's eyes. You are not trapped. You were never trapped. Then why am I in a locked apartment with guards outside? Because people are hunting you. He moved toward her again. No, there is a difference between protection and prison. Is there? Because right now it feels the same. The baby kicked hard, like protesting all the tension. Nadia gasped a little and put her hand there. Junseo noticed immediately. Are you all right? Fine. The baby does not like stress. Then sit down, please. She wanted to argue, but her back was hurting, and her feet were swelling. She sat on the couch. He disappeared into the kitchen and came back with a glass of water. Drink. She took it. The water was cold and helped settle her stomach. Junseo sat across from her, not too close, giving her space. I need you to trust me, he said quietly. Just for a few more hours. Let me find out who is doing this. Then you can make whatever decision you want. Even if that decision is to leave? His face tightened, but he nodded. Even then. Nadia drank more water. Her mind was spinning through possibilities, analyzing patterns the way she did with risk assessments. Someone knew enough about Junseo's business to reference the Busan deal. Someone had access to resources for surveillance. Someone wanted to drive a wedge between them. Who benefits from us being apart? She asked. Junseo looked up, surprise crossing his face. What? Think like an analyst. Who gains if we divorce? If you are emotionally compromised? If I take the baby and disappear? He leaned back, considering. Business rivals. People I have blocked from deals. People who want my position. Inside or outside the company. Could be both. Who suggested the divorce in the first place? His eyes sharpened. My head of security. Choi Min-jae. How long has he worked for you? 6 years. Is that normal? For someone in that position? It is loyal. Min-jae has been with me through 3 major expansions. He has protected me from actual threats before. Or he created the appearance of threats. Nadia set down her water glass. What if there was no mole? What if he invented the information leak to isolate you? She watched him process that. Saw the resistance first, the loyalty arguing against suspicion. Then saw the analytical part of his brain kick in. Why would he? Junseo asked slowly. I do not know yet. But someone benefited from you pushing me away. Someone is now benefiting from me being scared. And the same person has access to surveillance equipment and knows your schedule well enough to track both of us. Min-jae would not. You trust him. With my life. Maybe that is the problem. Nadia leaned forward despite her belly making it awkward. The best betrayals come from people you never suspect. His phone rang. He looked at the screen, and his expression changed. It is him. Answer it. But do not tell him I am here. Junseo held her gaze for a second, then answered. Yes? He listened. Nadia watched his face, trying to read the micro-expressions she had learned during their marriage. There, a small tightening around his eyes. Doubt. Where are you now? Junseo asked. Pause. No, I'm handling it personally. Another pause. That is not necessary. I will call you when I need you. He hung up. What did he say? Nadia asked. He found the men who were following you. Said he is interrogating them now. Do you believe him? I do not know anymore. Junseo stood and paced to the window and back. Min-jae has saved my life twice. Once in Hong Kong, once in Tokyo. Both times he saw threats. I missed. Or he orchestrated them and played hero. That is a serious accusation. This is a serious situation. Nadia struggled to stand. Her center of gravity was off, and she wobbled. Junseo moved instantly to steady her, his hands on her arms. Careful. I am fine. But she did not pull away. His hands were warm and steady, and for a moment, she let herself remember what it felt like to lean on him. Then she stepped back. We need more information. We need you to stay safe. I can do both. She walked to where her bag sat by the door. I've been doing both for months. What does that mean? Nadia pulled out her tablet from the bag. It means I did not stop being a risk analyst just because we separated. I have been tracking financial anomalies in your company since January. His eyebrows went up. You what? You are still technically my husband, which means I still have spousal access to certain legal disclosures. I used them. That is, he started, then stopped. That is actually brilliant. What did you find? She opened the tablet and pulled up a series of spreadsheets. 3 accounts that do not match your normal patterns. Money moving in circles, coming back to the same places, but looking different on paper. So classic laundering structure, but small enough to stay under audit radar. Junseo moved to look over her shoulder. She could smell his cologne, the same one he had worn since she met him. Her concentration wavered for a second, before she focused. This account, she pointed. It is registered to a company in Jakarta, but the company does not actually exist. I checked. The address is a mailbox at a UPS store. How much has moved through it? In the last 6 months, about $2 million US. He went very still. 2 million. And look at the authorization signatures. She scrolled to show him. Junseo leaned closer, his arm brushing hers. Then he breathed out slowly. Min-jae. Every single transfer. He could have been investigating it. That is part of his job. Then why not tell you? Nadia pulled up another screen. And why do the transfers always happen on days when you were out of the country? The evidence was right there in the patterns. She had spent 3 months building this case, not sure what she would do with it. Part of her had wanted to protect Junseo. Part of her had wanted leverage. Mostly, she had just wanted to understand what was really happening. Are you hooked yet? Make sure you have notifications turned on because this story is about to take a turn nobody sees coming. The next part will blow your mind. Junseo pulled out his phone and made a call. I need financial records pulled. Everything Min-jae had access to for the last year. Yes, everything. I do not care if he is head of security. Pull it now. He hung up and looked at Nadia. If you're right, I am right. Look at the dates again. Every transfer corresponds to a security incident. The Hong Kong threat. 2 days before, money moved. The Tokyo incident. Same pattern. He created the threats to justify the security budget and to make himself look valuable, indispensable. Nadia closed the tablet. The divorce papers came right after you started asking questions about the information leak. He needed to remove me before I could help you investigate. Because you would have found this. I did find this. Just too late to stop it. Junseo sat down heavily on the couch. He looked tired suddenly, the weight of betrayal visible on his face. 6 years. I trusted him for 6 years. I'm sorry. And she meant it. Nadia knew what betrayal felt like. Why did you keep investigating? He asked quietly. Shant after the divorce papers. Why not just walk away? She sat down beside him, leaving space between them. Because I am stubborn, and because part of me could not believe you actually wanted to end it. So I kept looking for reasons. What kind of reasons? Reasons you were protecting me. Reasons someone was manipulating you. Reasons to hope. He turned to look at her. And did you find them? I found evidence of embezzlement and staged security threats. Not quite the romance I was hoping for. A small smile touched his mouth. No, not very romantic. But it was something. Proof that things were not what they seemed. They sat in silence for a moment. The baby moved, and Nadia shifted, trying to find a comfortable position. There was not one anymore. 8 months pregnant meant nothing felt right. Like, does it hurt all the time? Junseo asked. My back hurts. My feet hurt. I have to use the bathroom every 20 minutes, and this little one likes to kick my ribs at 3 in the morning. Sounds terrible. It is also amazing. She put her hand on her belly. Feeling this person grow, knowing I am keeping them safe. It makes the pain worth it. You should not have gone through it alone. I was not completely alone. I made a friend in Busan, another woman from Africa, from Kenya. She's been helping me. Still, I should have been there. Nadia looked at him. Really looked. The man beside her was not the cold CEO from this morning. He looked uncertain, regretful, almost vulnerable. You are here now, she said quietly. Am I? Or am I just trying to fix another problem? I do not know. Are you? He met her eyes. No, you were never a problem, Nadia. You were the only thing in my life that felt real. Her breath caught. Then why did you let me go so easily? Because Minjai said you were in danger. He showed me photos of men watching you, reports of threats against people I care about. He said the only way to protect you was to cut ties publicly. Junseo's voice went rough. I thought I was saving you. You were breaking my heart. I know. And I am sorry. I am so sorry. The apology sat between them, heavy and honest. Nadia felt tears prick her eyes but blinked them back. Crying would not help anything. What happens now? She asked. Now I deal with Minjai. How? Carefully. If he has been planning this for months, he has contingencies. I need to move faster than he expects. Let me help. Nadia. I am a risk analyst. Junseo. This is literally what I do, and I have information you need. He looked like he wanted to argue. Then he nodded. All right. But you stay here. We work remotely. Agreed. His phone buzzed. He looked at it and frowned. The financial records are blocked. Someone put a security lock on them an hour ago. Minjai? Has to be. He knows we are looking. Then he will move soon. Probably disappear with whatever money he has left to steal. Not if I freeze the accounts first. Junseo made another call, speaking rapid Korean. When he hung up, he looked grim. Done. Every account I have access to is frozen. He cannot move money without my direct approval. He will panic. Good. Panicked people make mistakes. Nadia's phone buzzed. She looked down. Another unknown number, but this time a text message. You should have signed the papers when you had the chance. She showed it to Junseo. His face went dark. He knows you are here. How? I do not know, but we need to leave. Now. He stood and pulled her up gently. They moved toward the door, but before they reached it, the lights went out. Complete darkness. Nadia felt Junseo's hand find hers. Stay close to me. What is happening? Someone cut the power. His voice stayed calm, but she could hear the tension underneath. The backup generator should kick in. They waited. 5 seconds. 10. No lights. That is not normal, Junseo said. A sound came from the hallway outside. Footsteps, multiple people, moving fast. Junseo pulled Nadia away from the door, guiding her in the darkness. Where are we going? Bedroom. There is another exit. They moved through the dark apartment. Nadia's eyes were adjusting, but not fast enough. She trusted Junseo's hand pulling her forward. They reached the bedroom, and he closed the door behind them, locking it. Here. He guided her to what felt like a closet. Get in. What about you? I will be right here. But if something happens, there is a panel at the back. Push it, and you will find stairs. They go down to the parking garage. Take the black car. The keys are in the visor. Drive to the Shilla Hotel and ask for Manager Kim. Tell him I sent you. He will keep you safe. Junseo, promise me. I am not leaving you. Nadia. His hands found her face in the darkness, cupping her cheeks. Please, if not for me, for the baby. Promise me you will run if you need to. She wanted to argue, but he was right. She had more than herself to protect now. I promise. Good. He kissed her forehead quickly, then stepped back. She heard him move across the room. Then light flared on his phone screen. Someone pounded on the apartment door. Hard. Junseo, open up. It is Minjai. Nadia held her breath. Junseo moved back to the bedroom door, positioning himself between it and where she stood. The keycard should work. Junseo called back. System is down. Power failure knocked out the locks. How convenient. A pause. Then Minjai's voice, different now, colder. We need to talk. So talk. Not through a door. You have 5 seconds to tell me why I should trust you. Because I am trying to save your life, you stubborn fool. There are 3 men in the stairwell with guns. I got here first, but they are coming. So either open this door, or we both die proving a point. Junseo looked back toward where Nadia stood hidden in the darkness. She could not see his face, but she could imagine it. Calculating odds, weighing risks. How do I know you are not working with them? He asked. You do not. But in 30 seconds, it will not matter. Nadia heard it then. Footsteps in the hallway. More than one person. Moving fast, and not trying to be quiet about it. Junseo cursed in Korean. Then he moved to the bedroom door and opened it. Get in here. Minjai came through fast, and Junseo locked the door behind him. In the faint light from the phone screen, Nadia could see Minjai was breathing hard, his suit jacket torn. Where is she? Minjai asked. Safe. Who are those men? Hired guns. Foreign, probably Russian, based on the weapons. Someone paid them to grab the girl. Who? I'm still working on that. Minjai pulled out his own phone. But whoever it is has resources. This is not some amateur operation. You should know. You have been stealing from me for 6 months. Minjai's head snapped up. What? The Jakarta accounts. $2 million. All authorized by you. Even in the low light, Nadia could see shock cross Minjai's face. Real shock. Not performed. I never authorized transfers to Jakarta, Minjai said slowly. Show me. Later. Right now. We have a more immediate problem. Something heavy hit the apartment door. Once. Twice. They were breaking it down. Minjai moved to the bedroom door and braced against it. Is there another way out? Closet, panel in the back. Get her out, or I will hold them here. You will die. Better me than her. She is carrying your heir. Minjai looked at Junseo straight. I have done many things I am not proud of, but I never betrayed you, and I am not starting now. Another crash against the outer door, wood splintering. Junseo grabbed Nadia's hand and pulled her toward the closet. Come on. What about him? He can take care of himself. They pushed through, hanging clothes to the back panel. Junseo found the latch, and it swung open, revealing a narrow stairwell lit by emergency lights. Behind them, the apartment door gave way, shouting in a language Nadia did not recognize. Then gunfire, sharp cracks that made her ears ring. Go! Go! Junseo pushed her into the stairwell and followed, closing the panel behind them. They ran down the stairs as fast as Nadia could manage. Her belly made her clumsy, but adrenaline kept her moving. Above them, more gunfire. Then silence. Minjai, Junseo said quietly, you do not know that. I know. They reached the parking garage. The black car sat exactly where he said it would be. Junseo got her into the passenger seat, then slid behind the wheel, keys in the visor, just like he said. The engine started. He drove toward the exit, and stopped. A black van blocked the ramp. 3 men stood in front of it, all holding guns. Hold on, Junseo said. To what? He slammed the car into reverse and hit the gas. They shot backwards, tires screaming. The men started firing. The back window exploded. Nadia screamed and ducked. Junseo spun the wheel, and the car whipped around. He shifted into drive and headed for the other exit, the one for service vehicles. More gunfire. The side mirror shattered. Junseo kept driving, taking corners too fast, the car sliding on the smooth concrete. They burst out onto a side street. No van, no men. Just normal Seoul traffic. Junseo drove for 5 blocks, taking random turns. Then he pulled into an alley and stopped. Are you hurt? He turned to her, hands already checking her face, her arms. I'm fine. Are you? Yes. He looked at the shattered windows. That was too close. Nadia's hands were shaking. She pressed them against her belly, feeling for movement. The baby kicked, strong and healthy. "Thank God," she whispered. Junseo saw what she was doing, and his face went pale. "The baby is fine. Probably annoyed at all the excitement. But fine." He leaned his forehead against the steering wheel. "I almost got you killed. You saved me. Again. I put you in danger in the first place." "No. Someone else did that." Nadia touched his shoulder. "Minjae was telling the truth, was he not? About not stealing from you." "I think so." Junseo lifted his head, which means someone else set him up. Someone with access to security systems and financial records. Someone inside the company. They looked at each other in the dim light of the alley. "Who else has that level of access?" Nadia asked. Junseo's phone rang. He looked at it, and his expression changed. "Who is it?" "My vice president, Lee Sung-min," he answered. "Yes?" Nadia watched him listen, saw his jaw clench tighter and tighter. "I see," Junseo said finally. "See, and you are telling me this now because more listening." "No. Stay there. I am coming to you." He hung up. "What did he say?" "Minjae is dead. They found him in the apartment. 3 bullets." Nadia felt cold wash over her. "I'm sorry." Sungmin said the police are calling it a robbery gone wrong, but he knows better. He said he has information about who is really behind this. Junseo started the car again. "He wants to meet." "Where?" "His office. He said it is the only place he knows is not bugged." "Do you trust him?" Junseo pulled out of the alley. "I do not trust anyone anymore. But he has been with me since the beginning. If anyone would know about internal betrayal, it would be him." They drove through Seoul, taking side streets, avoiding major roads. Nadia watched the city pass by and thought about Minjae, a man she had barely known, dead because he tried to help them. "He saved us," she said quietly. "I know. You should have let me thank him. There was no time. There is never time." Nadia looked at Junseo's profile. "In this life you live, there's never enough time for the things that matter. I know that too. Do you? Because from where I sit, you keep choosing the empire over the people. I chose to save you today, after someone tried to kill me because of your empire." The words came out harsher than she meant, but she did not take them back. They were true. Junseo drove in silence for a while. Then he said, "You are right." "What?" "You are right. I built something so big and complicated that it attracts sharks, and then I act surprised when people get hurt." He glanced at her. "You deserved better. And you still do. Stop talking like we are already over." "Are we not?" Nadia put her hand on her belly. "Ask me again after we survive the next few hours." A small smile touched his mouth. "Deal." They pulled into an underground parking garage, different from the last one. This building Nadia recognized. Junseo's main company headquarters. "Are you sure this is safe?" she asked. "No. But I am out of safe options." He parked in a spot marked with his name. "Stay close to me. Do not talk to anyone. If something feels wrong, run." "I'm not good at running anymore." She gestured to her belly. "Then I will carry you." They got out of the car and headed for the elevator. 3 a.m, and the garage was empty except for a few other cars. Their footsteps echoed. The elevator doors opened. Empty. They stepped inside. As the doors closed, Nadia caught a reflection in the polished metal. Someone in the garage, watching them from behind a pillar. Junseo. "I saw." The elevator started moving up. He pulled her behind him, positioning himself between her and the door. "This feels like a trap," she said. "Everything feels like a trap now." The elevator reached the 15th floor. Sungmin's office. The doors opened. The hallway was dark except for emergency lighting. One office at the end glowed. Door open. They walked toward it slowly. Nadia's heart pounded so hard she could feel it in her throat. The baby kicked, sensing her fear. "Almost there," she whispered to her belly. "Just stay calm." They reached the office door. Inside, Lee Sung-min sat at his desk, hands folded in front of him. He looked up when they entered. "Close the door," he said. Jun Seo did. "Talk." "You have a problem," Sung-min said. "Bigger than you know." "Then enlighten me." Sung-min's eyes moved to Nadia. "She should not be here for this. She stays." Jun Seo. "She stays, or I walk." Sung-min sighed. "Fine, but do not say I did not warn you." He pulled out a folder and slid it across the desk.